They never told you that silence holds answers, that solitude reveals strength, that peace doesn't come from the outside. It's not in a voice, not in a face, not in touch. It's in the moment no one's watching, when everything is still and there's nothing left to hide behind. They warned you about loneliness, but never taught you how to stand in it, how to sit in a room with only your thoughts, your doubts, your truth. Most people run, scroll, drink, chase noise, chase people, chase anything but themselves. But what if the thing you fear is the only thing that can make you whole? No one claps for survival. No one sees the storms you stood through, the nights you almost broke, but didn't. And maybe that's the point. You weren't meant to be seen. You were meant to be revealed, not by others, by silence, by time, by the war inside. This isn't a guide. It's not advice. It's a mirror, held in stillness. And if you stay until the end, you won't be the same person who pressed play. The last lesson, it doesn't scream, but it stays. It doesn't scream, it doesn't beg, it just stays. Like fog on cold glass, like breath you didn't know you were holding. They call it loneliness, but it's more honest than most people. It doesn't flatter, doesn't distract, doesn't lie. It shows you what's left when the crowd is gone, when the lights fade, when the phone dies and nobody checks in. It's quiet, yes, but not empty, because in that silence, you meet someone you've ignored for years. You, no mask, no noise, no borrowed opinions, just the thoughts you buried, the fears you numbed, the wounds you laughed over. They surface, they sting, they whisper things you didn't want to hear. But here's the truth. What you face in solitude is what frees you in life. When there's no one to impress, you stop pretending. When there's nothing to chase, you finally arrive at yourself. So next time loneliness visits, don't rush to kill it. Don't feed it noise. Don't call it a curse. Sit with it. Let it burn. Let it speak. Because the ones who endure the silence, they don't just survive it. They rise from it. You think it's just quiet, but silence speaks. It doesn't use words, it uses memory, it uses breath, it uses what you've been trying to avoid. When the world goes mute, what's left is real. No applause, no judgment, just you. And the echoes inside. At first, it's unbearable. You want to check your phone, turn on music, open a tab. Any noise will do, as long as it's not your own voice. But wait, listen. Beneath the noise you escaped, there's a pulse, a pattern, a whisper. The voice you silenced, the one that says you're tired, you're faking it, you don't even want this, you've ignored it, mocked it, buried it under productivity and playlists, but it's still here, waiting, ready to tell the truth. Because silence doesn't punish you, it reveals you. It's where desires unmask themselves, where pain shows its source, where peace stops pretending to be entertainment and becomes a decision. Anyone can talk, anyone can post, but not everyone can listen to that quiet place, that inner hum, that uncomfortable stillness. So try, turn everything off, even your thoughts, and hear what survives. That's not emptiness, that's what's real. And once you can sit with silence, you stop needing noise, you stop fearing it. You start hearing what matters, and suddenly the world feels louder than it ever did before. Fear knows you, not the version you show, not the strong face, not the calm answers. It knows the crack behind the eyes, the silence after the smile. It watches, quiet, patient, not to destroy you, but to test you. You think fear is the enemy? No, it's the compass. It points to what matters, what you care about, what you're hiding from. Fear is sharp. It doesn't waste time. It goes straight to the place that hurts. That audition, that phone call, that conversation you've rehearsed 100 times but never had. It's not fear that paralyzes you. It's resisting it. Trying to fake calm, trying to pretend it's not there. That's what makes you weak. The Stoics didn't kill fear. They stood still when it came. They listened, then moved anyway. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It's walking through it. You don't beat fear by shouting. You beat it by acting, by stepping in, by breathing slower when your chest tightens, by doing the thing your mind begs you to avoid. Every time you run, fear grows. Every time you step in, it shrinks. So next time it rises, don't shrink, don't lie. Just whisper, I see you, then move. Because fear may know you, but now you know it too. You can't pour from an empty cup. But that's exactly what you've been doing. Bleeding for everyone, smiling while dry, carrying weight that no one sees. Because you never drop it, you just hide it better. They ask, you say, I'm fine. Because it's easier than explaining why your bones feel tired. But here's the truth. You are not a fountain. You are a cup. And lately, you've been empty, drained by people who only take, by expectations you never agreed to, by the pressure to be okay even when you're not. You don't need more strength. You need space. Space to fall apart, space to refill, space to breathe without asking permission. The Stoics didn't say carry more, they said carry right. And before you give, before you serve, before you show up again, check the level. Is there anything left in you? Because loving without energy, helping without boundaries, forgiving without healing. It's not noble, it's self-erasure. Fill your cup with silence, with breath, with light, with things that don't demand, only restore. Say no when it costs your peace. Say yes when your soul nods first. And if they call you selfish, smile. Let them. Because the ones who truly love you, they'll drink from your overflow, not your last drop. The first step always burns. It's not the hardest part because of the task. It's hard because it breaks inertia, because it exposes how long you've been still. The bed is warm, the mind whispers weight, the weight of delay wraps around your spine like chains. But here's the truth. Momentum doesn't come before action. It comes after. That's why rockets burn most of their fuel in the first few seconds, because escape velocity requires fire. And so do you. The first rep, the first no, the first word on a blank page, the first goodbye. It shakes. It stings. It cracks your comfort open like dry earth. But then it lifts. You move, you breathe deeper. You remember what it feels like to try again. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for motivation. They won't come first. Discipline moves first, then clarity follows. So whatever you're avoiding, take the ugly step, the slow step, the trembling step. Let it burn. Let it bruise. Let it break the rust. Because the fire you fear is the fuel you need. Stop announcing. No one needs the trailer, just the movie. Plans don't impress, results do. You say you'll change, you say you'll leave, you say, this time is different. But the world doesn't listen to words, it watches feet. And feet don't lie. Every time you speak your dreams too loud, you weaken them. You give them away to people who won't build them with you. So shut the mouth, move the hands, let the silence work. You don't need applause yet, you need progress. You need nights no one sees, mornings no one claps for. Effort without witness. Because true change is quiet. It doesn't ask for attention, it grows in the dark, and when it's ready, it speaks for itself. So next time you feel the urge to post it, say nothing, just do. Let them wonder what happened. Let your absence become the sign. Let your actions speak, with a voice louder than your words. Because the strong don't tell you who they are, they show you. And when they do, you listen. Truth doesn't shout. It doesn't need a stage. It doesn't crave validation. It just stands, still, unmoving, unbothered, because what's true doesn't beg to be believed. It's not loud, but it's heavy. You feel it in your gut, in your chest, in the pause between excuses. Most people talk to cover it, to twist it, to soften it. But it waits, it watches. It doesn't fight back, because it doesn't have to. Noise fades, truth stays. It doesn't need defense, it needs space. It needs space, and when you finally stop running, stop justifying, stop explaining, it shows itself, like light, cutting through dust. So if you carry truth, don't decorate it, don't inflate it, don't shout it from rooftops. Let it live in you, let it be your posture, your breath, your stillness. Because nothing is louder than a life aligned with what's real. No caption, no quote. No argument, just presence. Let others talk, let others spin. You stand, and that alone is enough. Let go, not because it doesn't matter, but because it's too heavy to carry. You held on, longer than you should, to pain, to people, to versions of you that no longer fit. You called it loyalty, you called it love, but deep down you knew it was fear. Fear of the space it would leave, fear of who you'd be without it, fear of starting again. But here's what no one tells you. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the quiet decision to stop bleeding for what won't heal, to stop feeding what no longer grows. You can't fly with fists clenched. You can't move forward while dragging a past that begs to be released. So breathe. Open your hands not to throw it away, but to set it free. You're not losing, you're unloading. And maybe that version of you needs to fall, so something truer can rise. The Stoics called it acceptance, not giving up, not giving in, just releasing resistance. So let it go. Let the door close, let the weight drop, and trust. What's meant for you never needs to be chained. It stays, it grows, it breathes with you. Everything else drift. Let it die. Let it go. You don't control it. The traffic, the weather, the timing, the way they left without a word. You don't control what they think, or what they forgot, or what they never gave back. And the more you fight it, the more it bleeds you. Because some things are not broken. They're just not yours. The Stoics knew this. They didn't waste fire on what couldn't burn. They chose what to carry and dropped the rest. So ask yourself, is this mine to hold, to fix, to chase? If not, let it be. Because control is an illusion. What you have is response. What you own is choice. Trying to bend the world to your will only break you. But stepping back, seeing what is, and still choosing strength, that's power. You can't control the wave, but you can choose not to drown. You can't stop the wind, but you can walk anyway. And when things fall apart, not everything needs your hands. Some things need your distance, your stillness, your release. So breathe. Let it be unfair, let it be loud, let it pass. Because peace doesn't come from gripping harder. It comes from letting go of what was never yours. You don't need it. Not the praise, not the noise, not the constant proof that you're enough. You don't need their approval, their attention, their "are you okay?" You're not here to be understood. You're here to be solid. The more you need, the more you bend. The more you chase, the more you forget who you are. Needing nothing. That's not apathy, that's power. Because the man who needs nothing can't be controlled, can't be bought, can't be broken by silence. He moves in stillness. He gives by choice. He walks not to be seen, but because his steps are his. The Stoics lived this. They stripped it all down, until only the essential remained. And they found that was more than enough. You think you need more? More likes? More comfort? More signs from the universe? No, you need less. Less noise. Less seeking. Less begging to be chosen. Because everything you're chasing only has power if you give it. So take it back. Let them talk. Let them scroll. Let them wonder. You're not empty. You're free. And that is more than most will ever be. Be your own refuge. Because sometimes no one comes. No one knocks. No one sees the cracks forming behind your smile. And that's not cruelty. It's life. It's reality. It's the silence between "how are you" and someone who actually waits for the answer. So build it. Inside. Not out there. A space no one can enter. A place no storm can flood. Not a fantasy, not escape. A fortress, made of routines, of breath, of words you whisper to yourself when the world gets loud. The Stoics knew, the world breaks who leans on it too hard. So lean inward. Create the stillness, the discipline, the ground no one can shake. Because if peace only lives in others, they can take it. If safety only lives in places, you'll never stop running. But if you are the place, you never have to flee again. So when the world goes dark, you don't search for light, you become it. When the winds rise, you don't pray to be spared. You anchor deeper. You're not lost, you're not broken. You just forgot that the strongest shelter was always you. This isn't punishment. You're not being tested, not being cursed, not being forgotten. It feels like exile, but it's an invitation. Solitude isn't the sentence. It's the door, a quiet one. No sign, no handle, just silence. waiting. Most walk past it, too loud, too rushed, too scared to stop and look in. But the ones who pause, who lean in, they find something rare. A passage, not out but deeper, into self, into peace, into power without noise. The Stoics knew, adversity is not a wall, it's a key. The kind that only turns when you stop fighting it. So next time you feel left behind, abandoned, cut off, alone, look again. You're not outside the world. You're just inside a moment that most people never dare to enter. And what feels like a prison today may be the threshold to a version of you that was waiting on the other side of stillness. Don't fear the door. Open it. Step in. You're not being punished. You're being called. Endure. Without noise. Not everything needs to be posted. Not every storm needs a speech. Not every wound needs an audience. Hold it. Quietly. Because strength isn't loud. It doesn't need to be seen. It just is. The Stoics didn't rant. They didn't cry for fairness. They stood and kept standing. Not because it didn't hurt, but because it wasn't the pain that defined them. It was the stillness in the middle of it. So breathe. Don't explain, don't prove. Don't break yourself to show how strong you are. Just carry it. The ache, the silence, the waiting. Because real strength doesn't show off. It shows up. Let them talk, let them guess, let them underestimate. You hold your ground. Not because it's easy, but because you've made peace with doing hard things alone. No trophy, no eyes watching, no finish line, just you, the moment, and the quiet decision, I keep going. Breathe first, before you answer, before you react, before you snap, or say something you'll regret. Just pause. That space between stimulus and response, that's where control lives, where power begins, where peace enters. They want you fast, emotional, predictable, but you stay still because not everything deserves a reaction. Not every word needs a reply. Not every moment is yours to fix. The Stoics taught this. Reacting is easy. Resisting is strength. So when the pressure rises, the voice gets louder, the chaos leans in, do one thing. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. No one will notice, but everything will shift. You'll see clearer. Speak slower. Choose better. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Just breathe. Strength doesn't scream, it doesn't flex, doesn't chase attention, doesn't need applause. It just stands. While others talk, it watches. While others react, it breathes. Real strength is silent because it knows noise is a mask and power doesn't perform. The Stoics didn't parade their virtue, they lived it. In silence, in shadows, in the space between what happened and how they responded. That's where strength lives, in the pause. In the choice, in the refusal to be moved by chaos. Anyone can look strong for a moment, but the ones who endure quietly, repeatedly, relentlessly, they become unbreakable. So next time the world pushes, don't push back. Anchor, let your calm disturb their storm. Let your silence echo louder than their noise. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to be seen to be solid. Just stand. Still, certain, untouched. Because real fortaleza doesn't announce itself, it just endures. One day you meet yourself, not the version you show, not the mask, not the survivor, the one underneath, the one who got tired but kept going, the one who stayed silent when it hurt, the one who carried more than they should have, for longer than they had to. You meet them, in a pause, in a memory, in a moment too quiet to escape, and it hits you. How long it's been since you looked at them with kindness. You judged them for not being enough, for falling, for needing. But today, you see clearer. They weren't weak, they were just trying with what they had, where they were. While no one clapped, the Stoics said, know thyself, but they forgot to add, forgive thyself too. So do it, not loudly, not with fireworks, just look into the mirror. See the one who stayed and say, I know you tried, thank you. Because peace doesn't begin when the world changes. It begins when you no longer fight the face in the mirror. Strip it down. The noise, the excess, the things that impress but don't fulfill. You don't need much, you just need what's real. A few quiet mornings, one honest friend, a roof, a purpose, a reason to get up even when it's hard. That's enough. Everything else, The luxury, the labels, the likes, they fade, but the essential stays. The Stoics lived with less, not because they couldn't have more, but because they knew what clutters your space clutters your mind, and a cluttered mind can't see truth. So simplify, not to feel superior, but to feel free. Let go of things that take without giving, that shine but don't sustain. Ask yourself, would I still choose this if no one saw it? If the answer is no, leave it. What's essential doesn't beg for attention. It works, it holds, it endures. So live simple, live steady, live with what roots you, not what decorates you. Because when the storm comes, only what's essential stays. You can't outrun yourself. Different city, different job, different name, same voice, still inside. You can change your clothes, your feed, your friends, but the weight, it follows. Because no matter how far you run, you take you with you. The fear, the regret, the silence that grows louder when the lights go out. Most people think movement is progress, but not if you're running in circles. Not if you're just escaping what needs to be faced. The Stoics didn't run. They sat. They looked within. They named the shadows, and they stayed there until they stopped flinching. So stop. Stop distracting. Stop numbing. Stop pretending the next thing will fix what the last one didn't. Face it, the part of you that feels too much, that remembers, that's still waiting for you to listen. You don't need a new life. You need to stop hiding from the one you already have. So sit in the silence, with the ache, with the truth, and say, I'm here. I'm not running anymore. Because the path doesn't begin when you escape yourself. It begins when you finally come home. Peace isn't calm. It's a choice. A decision made when everything says, react. When the world screams, break, and you answer no. It's not the absence of storms, it's standing while they pass through. The Stoics didn't wait for calm, they created it. Inward, unshakable, untouchable. Because real peace doesn't depend on weather or people or perfect timing. It depends on one thing, discipline. To stay still when pushed, to stay quiet when provoked. To protect your inner space like it's sacred, and it is. So stop searching for peace in places, in people, in outcomes. It's not out there. It's built inside, daily, deliberately. Peace isn't found, it's claimed. And once you do, no one can take it. There's a silence that breaks you, and there's a silence that heals. You won't notice it at first. It doesn't shout. It doesn't announce that you're getting better. It just enters, soft, uninvited, unarmed. You'll feel it in small things. How you breathe slower, how the night doesn't scare you anymore, how you stop reaching for things that don't hold. The Stoics lived in this space. Not the noise of crowds, but the calm inside chaos. The still place where nothing shakes. That's where healing happens. Not in applause, not in fixing, but in the quiet moments when pain no longer pulls. You don't forget, but you stop bleeding. You don't escape, you just no longer run. And one day, you sit, same chair, same weight. But it doesn't hurt the same. That's how silence works. It doesn't ask, it doesn't beg, it just stays until it becomes home. You're not afraid of being alone. You're afraid of what silence might show you, but now you've seen it, and you're still here. That means something. You didn't escape, you endured. You sat with the ache, you listened to the voice no one else hears, and now it's quieter. Not because life changed, but because you did. You stopped running, you stopped pretending, you stopped needing the noise to feel alive. And in that stillness, you remembered who you were before the world got loud. Solitude didn't break you, it revealed you. It returned you to yourself. The peace you were searching for was never out there, it was here. Still, silent,